No llore, no llore. Por favor. I can see why my nephew went so crazy.
Don't you touch her!
Listen, let's talk. I'm sorry my nephew has taken you, okay? If you don't come out, I will kill your niece! Like you killed my nephew!
No!
Our story opens in Mexico. We meet a man named Colton, walking straight into a building that serves as the headquarters of a powerful cartel. Colton isn't here by accident. His sister recently told him that a cartel member kidnapped her daughter, his niece. Furious, Colton pushes his way inside, and anyone who stands in his path gets taken down. Nobody in this building can match him.
You asshole.
He fights through room after room with brutal efficiency until he finally reaches a man named Victor Garcia. Colton shows Garcia a photo of his niece and demands to know where she's being held. Garcia refuses to talk at first, which only enrages Colton further. He tortures Garcia until he finally breaks and agrees to lead him to the girl. Garcia walks him to a door, but he takes too long trying to unlock it, so Colton simply snatches the keys from his hands. Attached to that same keyring is a pen drive, one that secretly holds the contact information, account numbers, and full details of every drug dealer connected to the cartel. Colton has no idea what he's just picked up. He opens the door, and the moment it swings open, he kills Garcia along with 2 guards standing inside. Finally, he finds his niece, a girl named Haley. She's overjoyed to see her uncle, and Colton immediately gets her out of there. As they drive away, Haley asks Colton why those men had kidnapped her in the first place. Colton tells her to ask her stepfather for that answer, a man named Walt Raymond. Meanwhile, we cut to a senior cartel figure, also named Garcia, alongside his associate, Cruz. Upon learning what happened, they're both devastated and furious. Senior Garcia demands to know why Victor made this girl a prisoner in the first place. His men explain that Walt Raymond had stolen a package belonging to the cartel, so they took his stepdaughter as leverage. Walt eventually returned the package, but Victor stubbornly refused to release the girl anyway, and that stubbornness ultimately got him killed. Senior Garcia is enraged, since Victor was his own nephew, and he's deeply troubled by his death. But what worries him even more is the fact that Colton walked off with that pen drive, a device that could potentially expose and destroy the entire cartel operation. Furious at his men for failing to stop a single intruder, he orders all of Victor's remaining people executed for their incompetence. Back at home, Colton arrives with Haley. His sister, Angela, is overjoyed to see her daughter safe and thanks Colton for bringing her back. Meanwhile, Senior Garcia places a call to a corrupt sheriff named Jasper, who's secretly on the cartel's payroll. Garcia orders him to arrest Colton immediately, explaining that Colton walked off with something extremely valuable belonging to him.
And I want you to detain him, this guest if he's there, and I will deal with them myself.
He sends Jasper a photo of Colton captured on security footage. The moment Jasper sees the image, he recognizes the man instantly. Colton used to be a soldier, but he's currently a fugitive, and Jasper knows he needs to move fast to catch him. Back at the house, Colton tells Angela and Haley to start packing. He knows this location is no longer safe. As they begin gathering their things, Walt arrives, Angela's husband, and immediately tries to stop them from leaving. Walt is clearly upset that Angela called Colton in the first place. He insists that Angela and Haley should stay with him instead, but Colton refuses, warning that staying here could put them all in serious danger. An argument breaks out between them. Colton lashes out at Angela, questioning why she ever married a man like Walt in the first place. Angela fires back, explaining that she married him specifically to protect her family and keep everyone safe.
With me, he found a piece of property where he could make some money running drugs across. Jim died and Haley was left without a father.
But after Walt racked up massive debt and eventually died, wait, that hasn't happened yet in the timeline. She's speaking generally about hardship. She reminds Colton that when she needed help most, nobody showed up for her. She had to raise her daughter completely alone, and marrying Walt was her only way to survive that situation. Their argument continues to escalate. That's when Colton notices several police cars pulling up outside. Angela tells him to hide inside the house while she handles the situation herself. Colton retreats inside just as Jasper arrives with his men. Jasper immediately arrests Walt, accusing him of murdering several of Garcia's men and illegally breaking into cartel property.
All right, give me your hand. Let's go.
After placing him in custody, Jasper turns to Angela, demanding to know Colton's location, since he's now wanted for multiple murders. Angela claims she hasn't seen Colton in a long time and doesn't know where he is. As the conversation continues, Walt suddenly shouts out that Colton is hiding inside the house. Jasper grabs a loudspeaker and orders Colton to come outside immediately. When there's no response after a few moments, Jasper sends 2 of his men inside to drag Colton out, dead or alive. But they have no idea what they're walking into. The moment they step through the door, Colton takes them both down and knocks them unconscious. He grabs one of their weapons and starts slipping quietly out of the house. The moment Jasper spots him, Colton uses the distraction to sprint to a car and speed away. Furious, Jasper rallies his entire team, declaring he wants Colton dead or alive, no exceptions. The chase begins. Colton speeds through the streets with Jasper's men in relentless pursuit. Eventually, they open fire on his tires, forcing his car to a stop. Officers pour out to search the wreckage, but Colton is nowhere to be found. He's already fled into nearby bushes, and the pursuit continues on foot. Meanwhile, Senior Garcia arrives with his own men to check on the situation personally. He demands to know if Colton has been captured yet, insisting he wants that pen drive back no matter the cost. Jasper informs him that Colton escaped toward the mountains. Furious, Garcia orders his own men to head into the mountains as well and track him down. That's when Walt approaches Garcia, desperately trying to apologize for everything that's happened. Garcia tells him he'll forgive him under one condition, if Walt hands over the pen drive. Confused, Walt insists he doesn't know anything about any pen drive. Enraged by this response, Garcia pulls out his gun and kills Walt on the spot. Everyone present is shaken by the sudden violence. Garcia then turns to Haley, demanding information about the pen drive, but she has no idea what he's talking about either.
So you have seen it.
Not something that everyone wears.
Meanwhile, police officers searching the mountains finally spot Colton. Before they can open fire, Colton strikes first, taking them down and rendering them unconscious. As more officers close in, Garcia's own men suddenly arrive on the scene as well, opening fire indiscriminately, and their bullets end up hitting the police officers instead of Colton, killing one of them in the crossfire. Despite the chaos, Colton manages to protect one of the remaining officers from getting shot. That's when Cruz shouts out that they didn't come here to kill anyone, they just want the pen drive back. But Colton knows full well that the moment he hands it over, they'll kill him anyway. The fighting continues, and eventually, when the surviving officer tries to get back up, Garcia's men kill him too. Colton moves quickly, firing at Cruz, though his shot misses. The two of them end up in a brutal, close-quarters fight, but Cruz is simply no match for Colton's skill. Colton ultimately kills him and moves on. Back with Jasper and Garcia, Garcia tries repeatedly to reach Cruz by radio, but gets no response. He orders more men into the mountains to continue the search, then turns to Jasper and asks him directly, who exactly is this Colton guy? Jasper explains that Colton used to be a soldier, in fact the best in his entire training class. He fought in numerous battles and won every single one, earning him multiple medals for his service. But his commanding officer turned out to be corrupt, and that officer ultimately framed Colton, landing him in prison. Colton eventually broke out and has been a fugitive on the run ever since. Hearing this history unsettles Garcia considerably. Jasper reassures him, though, saying there's no need to worry, as long as Angela and Haley remain in their custody, Colton will inevitably come back to try to save them. Meanwhile, Garcia's men track Colton down to an open field. They attempt to run him over with their vehicle, but Colton dodges out of the way just in time. They try again, but this time he manages to jump onto the moving car and hijack it, escaping in the process. What follows is a tense, ongoing game of cat and mouse. Garcia's men keep trying to shoot him, but Colton's military training keeps him a step ahead every time. He takes out one of Garcia's men with precision, proving exactly how skilled and dangerous he really is. Colton leaps onto the hood of a moving vehicle and forces the driver to hand over his weapon. He demands to know exactly what's on this pen drive that's made him such a high-value target. The driver explains that it contains comprehensive information on the entire cartel operation, every drug dealer's address and phone number, along with detailed financial records belonging to Garcia himself, including his bank account numbers and the exact locations of his hidden cash reserves. Armed with this knowledge, Colton kills both men in the vehicle and immediately heads back toward Angela's house, understanding now just how valuable and dangerous this pen drive truly is. Meanwhile, Garcia confronts Jasper again, clearly agitated. Jasper admits he's grown exhausted with this entire situation and plans to resign from his position as sheriff soon, refusing to keep doing dirty work on Garcia's behalf. Furious at this pushback, Garcia threatens him directly, revealing he knows information about Jasper's own daughter, implying he could easily target her if Jasper doesn't fall back in line.
How's your kid these days? You don't just walk away from a guy like me, Sheriff.
Though initially frightened by this threat, Jasper's anger builds internally, and he insists to Garcia that he won't be quitting the job just yet. Quietly, though, his confidence begins to shift, realizing that Garcia holds no real loyalty to anyone. Meanwhile, Colton arrives near the house and carefully surveys the area, identifying where Garcia's men are positioned. He begins taking them out one by one, but Garcia soon realizes Colton has arrived. In response, he grabs his weapon and forces Angela and Haley outside at gunpoint, shouting out to Colton that if he doesn't show himself immediately, he'll kill them both on the spot. Hearing this threat, Colton steps forward and throws down his own weapon, slowly approaching. Garcia's men quickly surround him from every direction. But Colton studies each of them carefully, watching their eyes, until he spots one man who appears distracted and off guard. Seizing the opportunity, Colton kills him and steals his weapon, immediately turning it on the man holding Angela hostage and shooting him too. Chaos erupts as Garcia's remaining men open fire wildly. Colton manages to retreat inside the house for cover, while Garcia's men continue shooting indiscriminately at the building. Colton fights back fiercely, and Angela, grabbing her own weapon, joins the fight, taking down several of Garcia's men herself one by one. Realizing the situation is spiraling out of control and that these men have no intention of backing down, Haley calls the police for help. The dispatch call routes directly to Jasper, since this falls under his jurisdiction. Jasper assures the caller everything is fine and that he'll personally check on the situation, but he's lying, fully aware of exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, several of Garcia's men manage to breach the house, opening fire throughout the building, including shots fired up toward the roof. Angela, positioned on the roof at the time, ends up getting hit in the hand by a stray bullet, wounding her. Despite this, Colton continues systematically eliminating Garcia's men one by one as they try to force their way further inside. He fights his way up to where Angela and Haley are hiding and tells them it's time to get out of the house immediately. He opens a bedroom window and helps both of them climb outside to safety. Once they're clear, Colton heads back downstairs, continuing to eliminate the remaining threats with nothing left to fear. Angela and Haley make their way to the garage, where they find a motorcycle waiting. They remove its cover and prepare to escape. But just as they're about to leave, Garcia himself appears and shoots at both of them, dragging them forcibly out of the garage. Just as he prepares to finish them off, Jasper suddenly appears from behind and shoots Garcia dead. Jasper's decision to kill Garcia is deliberate. After being threatened with harm to his own daughter, he refuses to let a man like Garcia remain alive, knowing he'll always pose a future threat. Meanwhile, Colton continues fighting through the remaining cartel members outside, taking down anyone who gets in his way without mercy. Jasper then turns to Angela, telling her plainly that he has no intention of going to prison over any of this, nor does he want Garcia's death weighing on his conscience, so he's decided the entire blame will fall on her and her family instead. He pulls out handcuffs, preparing to arrest her. That's when Colton arrives and immediately opens fire on Jasper. But every single bullet strikes his bulletproof vest, leaving him completely unharmed. Not a single shot penetrates his body. Colton then presents Jasper with a choice, laying two objects in front of him, a gun and a pair of handcuffs. If Jasper chooses the handcuffs, he'll go to prison and be forced to confess to everything he's done. If he chooses the gun instead, Colton will kill him right there on the spot. Jasper hesitates, weighing his options carefully as the two men stare each other down. After a tense pause, Jasper finally reaches for the gun, preparing to shoot. But before he can pull the trigger, Colton shoots him first, straight through the head, killing him instantly. Colton then turns to Angela and hands her the pen drive, instructing her to give it directly to the police. He assures her that once they have it, no one will be able to touch her or her family again, and she'll finally be able to live her life in peace. As they continue talking, Colton notices a police car approaching in the distance. He starts up the motorcycle and rides off, disappearing before the authorities arrive. And that's where the film comes to an end. So friends, that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.